Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, yes. Good afternoon. I want to thank everyone for being here. I'm joined by Barbara McMillan, and maybe you can just wave your hand when I call your name. Barbara McMillan, Belen Colon, Ms. Charlotte Duke, Loretta Walker, Lindsay Griffin, Kathy Albertini, Mike Bleeg, and Jane Bleeg. And today, we've been rolling out our compact with the community throughout this campaign. If you remember, we started off talking about our young people and how important young people are in terms of stabilizing our neighborhoods and stabilizing our city. And then we talked about crime. We talked about our economic development message, which was earlier on. So we really want to continue to put meat on the bones of things that will be priority in Evans' administration. And we talk about neighborhoods a lot and neighborhood stability. So today we want to focus on our seniors, which are absolutely critical to stabilizing our neighborhood. So we have a couple of points that we want to call out today. So I want to thank our seniors for being here. Now, first off, let me tell you, these seniors have way more energy than I do. And they are extremely involved in Rochester. They are extremely critical and important to stabilizing their neighborhoods. And they are great life models. Not just role models, but life models to the generations that precede them. And that's why I asked them all to be here today. The ages of 60 to 84 age group has been the fastest growing population in our area since 2000. Increasing 47%, while the 85 and older age group increased 34%. So we have to make sure that we have a prime focus on our seniors. So one of the things that we want to do in our first 100 days of taking office as mayor, one of the things we will work at and get started immediately is we will work on making sure that Rochester, at some point, have a co-housing, or also called an intentional community, built somewhere in the city of Rochester to help stabilize our neighborhoods by building intergenerational partnerships. Jane and Mike and Kathy have tried to work on co-housing for a long time. Why is that important? Because if I'm a young couple and I want to be in a community, how great is it if I have seniors that are living in this intentional community where we have these intergenerational conversations and relationships and able to work to make our community thrive. You could have some folks that could maybe babysit some of the kids if you want to do that. But more importantly, you can have the opportunity to have people who are able to age in place, to stay in place and have those opportunities. There is a wealth of data that says when seniors are able to remain in their residences, in their home, they live longer, they're sharper, and they have a better quality of life. So we want to make sure that we have this mixed intergenerational place somewhere in Rochester, and it'll be a priority of my administration to identify that space, to find that space, work with any community partners that are interested in doing that, because that is how we will be able to stabilize our neighborhoods. And we know that that will also be a way to grow our population. So currently, Yonkers is nipping at our heels in terms of population growth. So we don't want to be the fourth largest city in New York State. We want to stay number 3, but more importantly, we want to make sure that we are able to go even higher than that. The good thing about co-housing, intentional communities, you have structured opportunities to encourage those interactions that are important. You have an opportunity to make decisions on consensus because folks said, hey, I decided I wanted to live in this community. It could be single housing, or it could be or it could be a condos. It could be a bunch of different things. And then there's also shared spaces where people are able to enhance and enjoy those interactions. And there's some, so this is not something that's new. There's over 160 of these types of communities throughout the United States, in 25 states, and Washington, D.C., and there's one in Ithaca, right? That is a model of that. So that is absolutely important. So that would be one of our priorities when we talk about our seniors. The other thing, and probably one of the most important, is that we will work to establish a senior stabilization fund. A senior stabilization fund. Many seniors are on fixed incomes, so if they're living in a home or they're having problems with rent, they could be one opportunity away from a major major crisis. So we want to make sure that we work with our philanthropic support, government support, and private industry to have a senior stabilization fund housed at an organization to be determined. I will work to be a cheerleader to make sure that we are raising as much money as possible for this fund. This fund can be used for roofs. Currently, the city's roof program, which helps some seniors, it always runs out of money. It's one of the most popular programs that are around. So, but we need to make sure that we work to stabilize our seniors for emergencies that may come up. So that way they can continue their quality of life, and that one emergency will not send them into the poorhouse or into a situation that will be hard to get out of. I always tell the stat, less than half of Americans can come up with $400 for an emergency. So we know that at any time, any of us could be a moment away from a crisis where we may be able to need that support. So this will allow seniors to be able to thrive, and it will also, again, be able to help maintain independence. It will be able to make sure that they can continue with familiar settings and routines, which are absolutely critical, that they be able to remain in healthy and safe environments. And it's cost effective, because guess how much it costs to have someone go to an assisted living or a nursing home? Anyone know that number? It could be $75,000 or more. So it is critical for us. And then they're leaving the neighborhood. Now, Ms. Dukes, I shouldn't say she's got a big party coming up. Now, all you guys aren't invited. Courtney likes potato salad. He may try to come. We may let him come.
Okay.
But if you don't have a Miss Dukes in the neighborhood, you're losing that cohesion on Copeland Street, right? If you don't have a Miss McMillan in the neighborhood, you're losing that cohesion on Copeland Street. Or if you don't have Jimmy on Arnett Boulevard, making sure that everything is right in that neighborhood, you're losing that cohesion. And we don't want to do that, because we know that by having seniors be able to remain in place, they are going to make Rochester thrive, and also be able to give us that knowledge that they have, the brain power that's up here, the information and history that they have. We have a past to remember, a present to live, and a future to build. And you can't understand the past if you don't have the connections with our senior community, and they have to feel valued, and they have to feel involved, and they have to feel connected. And I can tell you, they work hard. They work hard. This campaign they outwork Generation Z that's back there. We got some Generation Zs on this campaign, and they're being outworked by some of our seniors. Jim probably can do more push-ups than any of you in this room, and we can take a test on that soon. The last piece that we want to talk about is our senior volunteer corps. As mayor, I will make sure that I have in the mayor's office a senior volunteer corps that will be responsible for being ambassadors to the senior community, but also making sure that they are able to give the ideas and all of the things that will help make Rochester better. Because guess what? We are surrounded up here by nonprofit executives, educators, folks that worked in the private sector, landlords. All of these folks up here have a wealth of knowledge that they still are able to contribute to the city. So guess what? I plan on tapping into that, as what I have done with this campaign. With this campaign, it is extremely multi-generational. I mean, I think the youngest person here is probably 19 or 20 years old and a college student, and I won't say how old the oldest person is, but they're in their golden years, over 80. So we have the spectrum of folks, and that's how you move organizations, but that's also how you make a city thrive. So this co-housing idea, we are absolutely extremely excited about. We know that we have plenty of vacant lots and places in Rochester where if we get the right people together in the room, we can make that happen. We know that our senior stabilization fund would mean the world to so many seniors here in Rochester, and we know that by using our seniors' knowledge and expertise through our senior volunteer corps, that we will be able to really make Rochester thrive. So I am excited, and I want to thank all of my friends for being here, Barbara, Baylin, Charlotte, Loretta, Lindsay, Kathy, Mike, Jane, for all coming out today to be able to stand with me as we talk about how Rochester really can thrive with seniors. The last thing I want to encourage people to do is vote early. I'm not going to say vote often, because this isn't Chicago. Just vote early. Vote early. There are plenty of sites where you can go to vote. We want to make sure that you vote as early as possible. You have 8 days of early voting, and then a 2-day little break, and then June 22nd is the big day. You got to make sure that you then you go to your regular polling places. But there are polling places listed throughout on the county's Board of Election website, as well as on my website, where you can make sure that you go to vote. And with that, I will take a couple of questions, and then we will conclude. Any questions?
When you talk about the Senior Stabilization Fund, who are you looking to partner with specifically? Do you have any organizations in mind or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously one of the ones, an organization that I have respected for my entire life, and once I did some senior stuff with them on elder abuse, would be Lifespan. I mean, Lifespan is an absolutely excellent organization. But again, I'm always careful because I have not talked to any particular organizations yet, but organizations like that, and then some various foundations as well as government. I also should mention that, in order for this partnership to work, we would also have to partner with the county, because the county has the Office of Aging. And so the relationship with the city and county is absolutely critical when you're talking about seniors, when you're talking about youth, but particularly when you're talking about seniors, because they do have the Office of Aging. But organizations like Lifespan would be great. But there are also other nonprofit organizations that have senior programs that they do have. But we want this fund to be housed somewhere. I don't want this fund in city government. Let me be clear about that. I don't want this fund at City Hall. I want it to be run by an independent place where it can be audited and said to the community, hey, here's what the money was spent on, here's how much it was raised. I will be there to be a cheerleader for it. I will be there to encourage others to contribute to it, because I think that it is absolutely important. I hear from so many seniors that might say, hey, my roof just went, but this is what I get in Social Security, it's not enough, and if this roof doesn't get fixed, it's going to hurt the value of the house. So then the house won't sell for the value that it's at, and then it's going to hurt the senior, or sometimes the senior still has a mortgage on it. So, and I'm using the roof as an example, but this will be used for a multitude of things that will help seniors be able to maintain their independence, but more importantly, their quality of life. Any other quick questions before we get out of here? All right. Well, again, I want to thank everyone for being here today. And I hope that you remember to VOTE. Remember, if you don't vote, you don't have a choice. And you absolutely have a choice, so you want to make sure that you get out and vote starting this weekend on Saturday. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming. And I look forward to future conversations as we go throughout the final sprint of this campaign, the last 2 weeks. So thank you, everyone, for being here.
I just want to add, Rochester Area Community Foundation, I guarantee you would be interested in this.
Well, I don't want to speak for them, but yeah, they might be. There might be others too.
Possibly a house, definitely a contributor.
Yeah, so, thank you.
Yeah.
Malik, can I grab you for a second?